I've always had a fear that homosexual people might start implementing their agenda. Alas, these two cucks have confirmed my fears. For starters, I want to say that I honestly don't care what people do in the privacy of their own home. But what I don't like about the LGBT community is that they try to normalize homosexuality while they actually demonize heterosexual people and give in to the claims that straight people don't exist and we're bigots if we won't date them. This is where I will put up my opposition, so you can imagine my reaction upon witnessing this next masterpiece.
To act as though you'll be completely unfulfilled unless you have children.
So if, like us, your family and friends are always pestering about when you're gonna have a kid,
Okay, let me tell you to something you may or may not know. Like, the two of you cannot have children. Like, regardless, no matter what you do, no matter how many times you fuck each other's asses and suck each other's dicks, you are not having children. So I would argue that asking homosexuals for parental advice is like asking a vegan if chicken is tasty.
and you're like, better not, here's some scientific evidence as to why you probably shouldn't have a kid.
Right. You see, one of the characteristics of a living organism is that it can biologically reproduce. So I'd love to hear how science and nature don't want us to do something natural.
Perhaps your relationship is in a rut and you think that kids might bring you closer together. Statistically, it will absolutely not. Research shows that marital satisfaction plummets after your first child, and 70% of couples experience a big slump in their love life. This is often due to clashing ideas of how to raise your child, along with sleeplessness.
Oh, is that so? Now, I noticed that you put some sources below. Let's check them out. Oh yes, this is just really reliable. An article which is then linked to an opinion piece written by a feminist that wrote a book about not having kids. Doesn't really seem like something that you can really look up to. Just kind of looks like a coping mechanism of some sort. But yeah, an opinion piece. Now that's some real science to you, isn't it? Furthermore, as much as I can see, there are no links or references to any actual study. If you want my side of the story, well, psychology has shown that having a child around the time of birth does decrease happiness. Well, this does pick up as the family grows later on. It's just a short-term thing. Parents will eventually feel a sense of purpose and learn new responsibilities. Furthermore, one thing that you have failed to mention is that divorce rates have been on decline since 1980. Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't look too good for your show, wouldn't it?
So yes, your kids will ruin your sleep. So in the first 2 years of your baby's life, survey data has found that you will lose 6 months of sleep, and you will only receive about 2.5 hours of continuous sleep each night.
This is only a temporary phase because babies grow up and then learn things on their own. Besides, taking care of children in the nocturnal hours can be taken care of with certain techniques, such as taking turns or even taking a nap during the day or during a child's nap, since children need more sleep. I mean, look, these are sacrifices people make for things they like.
It'll also cut into your wallet. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, if you're a woman with a child, you make 3% less than a woman that is childless. However, this is not true of men, who make an additional 15% if they have kids compared to those without. It has nothing to do with how hard you work, how many hours you work, or the job you have, but the double standard idea that men are breadwinners and women are caregivers. Employers see fathers as committed and stable, whereas they see mothers as flaky and distractible.
So the fact that employed men with families choose to work longer hours as well as seek better paying jobs more often in order to stay in a healthy family, it doesn't really count, does it? I guess you will also shy away from pointing out that mothers usually choose to work less hours so that they might be able to care for their children. My mom has only worked part-time jobs for the last 25 years. Why should a woman be paid more part-time just because she's a woman? Are you really going to bring the non-existent pay gap into everything? It's also hilarious because you completely ignored other factors in getting jobs in your own sources that would nullify your claim. It just shows that you people are fucking idiots.
Another more obvious one is that kids are expensive.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, I hate the mannerisms and tone of this fact. Wait, what the hell? Did he paint his nails blue? Did he fucking paint his nails blue? I cannot believe I am dealing with this. A grown person is painting his nails. A man painting his nails blue. I have never seen this in my life before.
In the US of A, in 2015, on average, a baby would cost you $13,000 per year.
Here's some good piece of advice. It's called living within your own means. Furthermore, what are you going to spend your money on and at the same time be equally as happy? You know, people are originally happier when they spend time with people they're close to than with material objects. What better way to spend time than with the people you love?
Kids bring so much joy into our lives, right? Well, sometimes research does show that if you wanted to have kids and have them, your life satisfaction can increase, but no more than people who are childless by their own choice.
Let me stop you right there. The study linked below only looked at how satisfied people were. What you failed to mention is that the statistics are a little different. All over the West, the majority of people want children, and that percentage of people wouldn't be fulfilled if they didn't have them. The group you're ranting in favor of is a group of exceptions, a small percentage of the population.
And if you're still not convinced, we can look at things from the macro level. There are currently about 7.5 billion people on Earth, and in this second, 4 kids were just born. And many scientists collectively agree that if you factor in fresh water and the amount of food available, the Earth can only really hold 9 to 10 billion people. So a smaller family, or no kids at all, can help the threats of overpopulation, such as mass starvation.
And if you really did look at things on the macro level, you would shove that plant in the background up your ass and refute everything you just said. The ideal birth rate to keep a stable population is 2.1. Here in the West, the average birth rate is 1.7, and the only nations that reproduce at the fertility replacement level are Ireland and France. If you really cared about overpopulation, you would venture to these third world shitholes where people on average have 4 to 6 children and tell them to have less children. We in the West actually need to increase our birth rate.
We'll go extinct if we don't reproduce, you fucking imbeciles.
If you're trying to go green, you could go vegan,
That's not going to stop climate change at this rate. I even did a video on that.
you could ditch your car, you could
What if you drive an environmentally friendly car?
stop flying everywhere, or
A plane takes off whether there's 1 person or 300 people. There is no difference. Furthermore, I have family on both sides of the Atlantic. How am I supposed to travel between the two?
you could just not have a kid.
This video might be making it sound like we hate kids.
This video is absolutely retarded, and none of your points actually prove that having children is not beneficial to society and the individual. This video literally reminds me of a tweet that a liberal professor stated. It actually proves that liberals want Western society to collapse. At this point, there is no reasoning with the left, which is why more of them need to be called out. If any of my fans notice someone similar doing something, I would love to see your reaction video.